we approximate.
All right, we are back.
And then we also kind of approximate.
Right, Tyler, whenever you're ready.
Hello, everybody. Welcome. Add your cue to be quiet, please, everybody. Thank you. This is me just going to be giving you your soldering overview, a little demonstration. If you've soldered before, that's great. Just listen for a moment. If you're planning on soldering this evening, you need to watch that way you don't blow something up. Yeah, I'm basically just going to give you a little rundown of everything, give you a little overview of what is hot, don't touch that, all that kind of good stuff, and then you can go back to doing whatever you need to do this evening. Okay. For those that aren't quite able to see on the DocuCam, because I don't have it on the DocuCam, we have our soldering station here. It's going to have a wet sponge on the front of it. That is so that if you have solder on the end of this, which is the soldering iron, you can get it off. Everything that is not black is going to be super, super hot. So don't touch it. It will burn your fingers and you won't feel it because it's that hot. So let's just avoid touching that. Yeah, the eye video from earlier. This is solder. This is the metal that you will melt to put wires onto where you want to put the wires at. And this is the Malinky Nano, which is what I'm going to be doing a quick little demo on. Hopefully, oh, beautiful. I'm using what's called a helping hand. It's basically just clamp. That way you don't have to hold the thing you're trying to solder. It keeps things a little bit more stable. But essentially, all you do is you take a wire. After stripping said wire, cool. We can see that. It's a wire. I've stripped off the plastic. Don't melt the plastic, please. It's not for melting plastic. I'm going to connect this to the PWM section, which is going to be that little guy. I don't know if you can see where that came up at, but it's right there. See. So what you will now do is your goal is to warm up where you're going to be connecting the wire at. And after warming up where you're going to put the wire at, you just take your solder and you bring it in and you let it melt onto the connector. And as you kind of know, it kind of floods in and just kind of makes a good connection to that little gold bit there. And that's basically it. It's not too complicated, but your goal is to not get it everywhere, because if you do, then I have to fix it. And I don't want to fix it because it's going to be a pain in the butt to fix. For areas that are small, like the one I just did, you'll notice that it kind of had, let's see if I can just zoom in here. There we go. Yeah, it just kind of does it for you. There's not too much work to it. I would highly suggest not loading the end of the soldering iron with a whole bunch of solder before you put it on there. Makes things a lot more difficult to work with. And a little tip, if your soldering is not flowing very well, is to put a little bit of solder on the end of your tip, wipe off most of the excess on the sponge, and then it will be what's called tinned, which is basically just like priming the end of it for solder. Are there questions? I know it's quick, but really it's not. Yeah. So the wire should come in from the bottom. So for this demonstration, I did do that because otherwise it would be all up in your face. It does not really matter. This one, it's typically easier to do from the bottom just because it's easier to see where all your connections are at because it's labeled on the top, not on the bottom. Got to show you that if we zoom out real quick. You'll see really quickly that, oh, well, I guess they are kind of labeled. Look at that. Learn something new. Then it doesn't matter. There you go. You can use the other side. I don't know if the high voltage ones are labeled on the back, though, which means if they're not, you'll probably flip them. But that's basically it. Yeah. Any other questions, comments, concerns? Okay, great. If you plan on using our soldering irons, I'm going to be monitoring you anyway. So, things that come up, we'll just discuss them. We'll go over them. We'll make sure that you guys are doing all the kinds of safety stuff. There'll be a fan there. It will be loud, which is why it's not on right now, but it looks like this. You're going to do your soldering in front of that. That way metal fumes don't go in your eyes or your mouth or anything like that. Yeah, that's basically it. So Thank you. Yeah. You want me to pause this or end it? Yeah.
It's legit like a 2-minute walk.